Welcome back, everyone, to BBB Sharing. I'm Evie, Director of Ignite, sparked by BBB. We are here in the Ignite podcast studio once again, and I have Patricia Rudolph with me from My Tax Pilot.
Hi.
Hi, Patricia. So tell me, well, it goes without saying in the name, but what is My Tax Pilot?
Well, we're a full service accounting company. We provide payroll services. We provide tax services for individual companies and nonprofits. We provide financial statements. We do sales tax, personal property, business license. So we do it, the whole gamut.
Y'all do everything. So my thing is, and what I've learned from a lot of people is that most people don't know the difference between taxes and bookkeeping.
Okay, so if you're a corporation, you have to have a financial statement for us to be able to prepare your tax return. So bookkeeping is pretty much getting your financial statement ready. It's inputting transactions, preparing bank reconciliations, things like that.
Awesome. What are some things that you see are often a concern for your clients and things that they're like, oh, this is an easy solution? They're like, I would have never known had I not come to you.
A lot of clients don't know, and we find that this time of year that especially if you're an S corp, you have to add. Well, first of all, if you're S corp, you have to have payroll, and you have to have health insurance added to your W-2 in order to deduct it on your 1040. So we find that a lot this time of year. Especially if they use another payroll service, they don't have that done, and then it's just getting everything amended to get that done. That's a big concern. A lot of clients wait till the last minute, then want their tax return done right away. So we try to stress to get their information in early, so we can get their tax return done at a decent time. We try to do tax planning with our clients so that there's no big surprises at the end. So if they come to us, during the year, then we can do tax planning. That's the whole point of doing bookkeeping year round, so that we can stay abreast of what their income is, and there's certain things we can do to lower that income.
One of the things that I notice every single year when I do my taxes is I think to myself, I wish I had a checklist of things that are required of me to bring to whoever does my taxes that year, because you guys don't know what I did that year or what's been going on that year. You rely 100% on what I bring you. So what do you suggest to your clients to go down the checklist so that it makes it easier for you and easier for them, so they're not going through a scavenger hunt?
Well, we issue what's called a tax organizer, and what that does is, especially if you're a previous client, it lists everything that you gave us from the previous year, so you can kind of look at that, and it helps you to know what to bring in the incoming year. A lot of my clients don't like to use that, so we stopped sending it out only to clients that request it, because it was a waste. They don't use it. They just get their stuff together and send it, because I guess after so many years they know it. But then I have clients that love it and they want it and they use it, and they even fill in the information, which they aren't required to do, but they just something they like to do. So it's different things for different people.
I have to say, I think that's a great service to provide, because especially for new business owners who don't necessarily know what they're going through the first few years.
Right. And so in that case, we could give them a blank organizer that just kind of, lists different things that we might need, and they can, kind of use it as a checklist to send us information.
So this for me is kind of a two-part question. Well, the first one is, how long do you suggest that people keep their tax forms even after they're processed? And that being said, when they do dispose of them, what do you suggest the best process in doing that is?
Okay, well, the requirement is, you're supposed to keep your documents as long as the IRS can audit you, which is 3 years. I keep my clients' records for 7 just because there's some things that they can audit for more than 3 years. Different things like, I can't think of a certain one right now, but there are some things that like if you have a penalty for a certain thing, they can do that longer. And your second question, how to dispose of it, I would always shred it.
Shred it.
Yes.
And I do. So I remember when my parents were moving offices. They owned 2 hotels, and they were moving offices for one of the hotels, and we had to reorganize all of the tax documents. Whoever was the administrator at that time had recently quit and had everything in disarray. Mm-hmm. How do you suggest that people keep everything organized to maintain that 7 years of keeping everything in place? Because it's a lot of documents. It's not like it's...
Well, for us, we're pretty much a paperless office. So we take the client's documents, we scan them in, and the client file, it's all on the computer. We have tons of backups, tons of, so that, if something did happen, the computer went down, everything's still secure and safe. But then we give the documents back to the client. So it's up to the client to do what they need to do to keep them safe. But as far as if somebody keeps paper documents, like I have them with my own personal, I still keep them. And I keep them in a folder that says like 2022, 2023, 24, and I just keep them all in a folder like that.
I keep mine digitally and in paper form, just in case, because you never know. I tend to move around. So I moved from Harrisonburg to Richmond this past year, and I'm staying at my apartment, but I plan on, moving into a home soon. And so for me, because I move so much, I keep everything housed at my bank. So I know some people don't know that they can use their deposit boxes as a way of keeping documents. So when I worked at the bank before, I was like, oh, you should keep your documents here and to keep them safe, because you never know what can happen.
Well, this is true. I guess you could use a P.O. box, a bank, if you want to keep them safe, right?
Yep. So what advice do you have for anybody that is a first-time taxpayer?
The first time, well, it depends if you're a business or just an individual. If you're a business, you need to first contact a lawyer, and because a lot of people don't do that, and they try to set up their companies themselves, which if they're not done correctly, the IRS can take away your designation, whatever you're set up. So the first thing you should do is make sure you contact a lawyer, make sure you're set up correctly, and then contact an accountant. Those are the first 2 things you need to do to make sure everything is set up correctly. And for an individual, you just need to get your documents in, or, if you want to meet with someone before the accountant before the end of the year, just to do some tax planning.
I think that's great advice, both on the business end and the individual end. How can people get in contact with you?
My number is 804-740-6742 and extension 1005. That's how you can get in touch with me personally. There's, we have, I think, 2 CPAs and 2 EAs in our firm, and various other tax preparers as well.
Perfect. Patricia, thank you so much for coming in here and visiting me and letting me get to know you and talking about my tax palette.
Thank you.
And everyone that is watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. We are BBB Central VA on YouTube. And if you are listening on Spotify, BBB Sharing, please follow us and share it out. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.